legacy of the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings, a franchise defined by passionate fans, unforgettable moments, and at times being one of the most overlooked teams in NBA history. This is a franchise that, despite facing years of struggles, has produced some of the most electrifying talents in basketball history. From Mitch Richmond, who carried the franchise in the 90s with his deadly scoring ability, to the legendary Chris Webber-led Kings of the early 2000s, a team that, let's be honest, was robbed of a championship in 2002. The Kings were once the most feared team in the NBA, running an offensive system that was years ahead of its time. Their battles with the Lakers, epic. Their passing and ball movement, unmatched. Their fan base, loyal through thick and thin. Legends like Peja Stojakovic, Mike Bibby, Bobby Jackson, Doug Christie, and Vlade Divac cemented their names in NBA history as part of one of the most entertaining teams ever assembled. But today, we're not just talking about the stars, we're talking about the forgotten ones. The most underrated Kings to ever wear the purple and black. Players who put up numbers, made an impact, and yet somehow remain overshadowed in franchise history. Let's count down the 5 most underrated Sacramento Kings players of all time. Number 5, Brad Miller, 2003 to 2009. At number 5, we have Brad Miller, one of the most skilled passing big men the Kings ever had and a 2-time NBA All-Star. Miller joined the Kings in 2003, right as the golden era was starting to decline. Chris Webber suffered a devastating knee injury, and Sacramento needed a new front-court presence to keep them competitive. And Brad Miller, he delivered. Miller wasn't just a traditional big man. He played the high post role perfectly in Sacramento's motion offense, essentially becoming a point center. Key stats, 2003 to 2006. 13.3 PPG, 8.6 RPG, 4.3 APG, 52% FG, 80% FT for a center, elite numbers. 2003-4 and 2004-5 NBA All-Star. He had elite court vision, a reliable mid-range shot, and was the glue guy that held the Kings together post-Webber. Defensively, not the most athletic, but his basketball IQ made up for it. The Kings may not have had a deep playoff run during his tenure, but Brad Miller's contributions should never be overlooked. Number 4, Marcus the Bayou Bomber, Thornton, 2011 to 2014. At number 4, we have Marcus Thornton, a name that even some Kings fans forget too easily. And if you ask longtime Kings announcer Jerry Reynolds, he'll remind you of Thornton's nickname, the Bayou Bomber. Why? Because this guy could flat out score from anywhere on the floor. From 2011 to 2013, Thornton was one of the most explosive scorers in the NBA. Key stats, 2011 to 2013, 18.7 points per game, 3.6 rebounds per game, 2.3 APG, 37% from 3, 44% FG, 42-point career high versus Warriors, February 2012. But Thornton wasn't just a one-game wonder. When he played the Golden State Warriors, it was personal. He had a habit of torching them every time he stepped on the court. So much so that Jerry Reynolds also called him the Warrior Killer. Other career high performances, 36 points versus New Orleans, 2012, 38 points versus Boston, 2013, 33 points versus Denver, 2011. Thornton was a pure bucket getter. He could light up the scoreboard from anywhere, and on a Kings team that wasn't exactly contending, he was the go-to guy in crunch time. If Sacramento had been a playoff caliber team at the time, Thornton's name would be talked about a lot more today. Number 3, Kevin Martin, 2004 to 2010, the efficient scoring machine. At number 3, we recognize Kevin Martin, a guard whose scoring efficiency and unique style made him a standout performer for the Kings. Emerging as the team's primary offensive option in the mid-2000s, Martin's unconventional shooting mechanics belied his effectiveness. Martin's ability to draw fouls and convert at the free throw line added a strategic dimension to his scoring arsenal, often placing opposing defenses in precarious positions. Key stats, 2007 to 2010, 24.6 points per game, 4.3 rebounds per game, 2.8 assists per game, 40% from three-point range, 45% field goal, 88% free throw. Despite the team's lack of success during his tenure, Martin's individual performances were a beacon of excellence, showcasing the impact of efficiency and skill in scoring. Number 2, DeMarcus "Boogie" Cousins, 2010 to 2017, the dominant force. In the second spot, we honor DeMarcus "Boogie" Cousins, a center whose combination of size, skill, and passion made him one of the most formidable players in Kings history. Drafted in 2010, Cousins quickly established himself as a dominant force in the league. Cousins' ability to handle the ball, shoot from range, and pass with precision made him a matchup nightmare. His intensity and competitive spirit, while sometimes leading to on-court confrontations, underscored his relentless desire to win. Key stats: 2014 to 2017, 26.9 points per game, 11.2 rebounds per game, 4.6 assists per game. Two-time NBA All-Star. Despite his individual brilliance, the team's instability and lack of a cohesive supporting cast hindered postseason success. Cousins' tenure with the Kings is a poignant example of talent overshadowed by organizational shortcomings. Number 1, De'Aaron Fox, 2017 to present, the Electric Floor General. Topping our list is De'Aaron Fox, the dynamic point guard who has become the cornerstone of the modern Kings era. Since being drafted in 2017, Fox's speed, court vision, and leadership have been instrumental in the team's quest for resurgence. De'Aaron Fox, drafted 5th overall by the Sacramento Kings in 2017, has consistently showcased his elite skills, yet often remains underappreciated in broader NBA discussions. His lightning-fast speed, court vision, and scoring ability have been pivotal for the Kings. In the 2023 to 2024 season, Fox averaged 25.0 points, 4.2 rebounds, and 6.1 assists per game, shooting an impressive 51.2% from the field. Despite these stellar numbers, Fox has garnered limited All-Star recognition, securing only one selection. This oversight can be attributed to the depth of talent among Western Conference guards, with perennial All-Stars like Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, and Damian Lillard often overshadowing emerging talents. Fox's impact isn't confined to individual statistics. His leadership was instrumental in guiding the Kings to their first playoff appearance in 16 years during the 2022 to 2023 season. In the playoffs, he elevated his performance, averaging 27.4 points, 5.4 rebounds, and 7.7 assists per game, underscoring his ability to thrive under pressure. Notably, on November 16, 2024, Fox set a franchise record by scoring 60 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves, showcasing his offensive prowess. Despite these achievements, Fox's contributions often fly under the radar, leading many to consider him one of the most underrated players in the league. In recognition of his value, the Kings traded Fox to the San Antonio Spurs on February 3, 2025, marking the end of an era and highlighting his significant trade value. In summary, De'Aaron Fox's exceptional skills and leadership have been crucial to the Kings' recent successes. Yet due to the competitive landscape of Western Conference guards, his talents often remain underappreciated, cementing his status as one of the most underrated players in Sacramento Kings history. A franchise with talent, but a lack of success. The Sacramento Kings have had plenty of talent over the years. From dominant big men to elite scorers, they've never been short on individual greatness. But the harsh reality, poor ownership and front office instability have prevented them from reaching true success. Whether it was failing to build a championship team around Mitch Richmond, the controversial and crushing loss of the 2002 Kings, or not capitalizing on the prime years of DeMarcus Cousins, Sacramento has been a franchise of missed opportunities. Yet despite everything, the Kings have one of the most loyal fan bases in the NBA. And while these players, Brad Miller, Marcus Thornton, Kevin Martin, DeMarcus Cousins, and De'Aaron Fox, may not always get the recognition they deserve, they were warriors in their own right. Hopefully, fans of every era, whether it's the golden years of the early 2000s or the resurgence in 2023, can appreciate the talent that has graced the court in Sacramento. Because if there's one thing we've learned over the years, Kings fans never stop believing.